Welcome to the Companion Chapel Everyday Bible Study broadcast. My name is Mike, coming to you from the Great Lakes area of beautiful Ontario, Canada, on this gorgeous Friday, February 7th, 2025. Coming right up, it is the book of Samuel. That's 1Samuel chapter 28. That's your cue. You know what to do. Open your Bibles to 1Samuel chapter 28. And while you're doing that, please first consider your part in the many-member body of Christ. Help glorify, magnify, and broadcast the message of Christ's love out to a hurting world. Please go to companionchapel.com and please email me at companionchapel@gmail.com. 1 Samuel chapter 28. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered, and what did they do? Their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. Okay, so the Philistines are coming up against Israel. And Achash said unto David, Know thou assuredly that thou shalt go out with me to battle. Right? Okay, so there you go, baby. You're good doggies. Okay, so you're going to come out with me to battle with your men. Okay, David? Because he's been there for so long. He's running from Saul. He's just hiding himself. Okay, David's in a bit of a bind now. And David said to Achash, Surely shalt thou know what thy servant can do. And Achash said to David, Therefore will I make thee keeper of my head forever. Keeper of my head means like my personal bodyguard. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him, and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And King Saul had put away all those that had familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Familiar spirits, we're talking about like the reincarnation people, or the people that, anyways, evil spirits. It's nothing new. Matthew chapter 4, Jesus Christ talks about these people. Okay. Anyways, here you have it. He put all these people away. Wizards, everything out of the land. That's just what they called themselves. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched at Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together and pitched at Gibeah. And saw Saul a host of the Philistines. He was afraid. His heart had greatly trembled. Saul had a good view of this upcoming fight here. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants. Okay, how did Saul have Urim when he didn't have a high priest with him? Because he made his own. Okay, that's just the thing that's in the priest's pocket. Okay, so let's just carry on. Then Saul said unto his servants, Seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servants said unto him, Behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit in Endor. The witch of Endor. Saul, way to go. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment. And he went, and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring him up, who I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, Behold, Saul, I am the witch of Endor. Thou knowest what Saul hath done. He hath cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life to cause me to die? Oh, she's suspicious, but what's she going to do? And Saul sware unto her by the Lord. Yeah, this is the devil using God's name. It happens every day, all the time. Be very careful when you hear people using God's name. It's one of the big 10. Don't use his name in vain. Anyways, here's Saul. I swear to you by the Lord, as the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. And the woman said, Whom shall I bring up unto thee? And Saul said to her, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. The evil spirits knew Saul. What do you want there, Saul? And he said unto her, What form is he of? And she said unto him, so this is King Saul talking to this witch of Endor. And this is what she said. An old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped his face to the ground and bowed himself. Saul is bowing to evil. And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? Okay, this isn't Samuel. This is just an evil angel that is impersonating Samuel. Why did you bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I call thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I am supposed to do here. Then said Samuel, Wherefore then dost thou see of me, asking of me, seeing that the Lord departeth from thee, and is become thy enemy? The Lord is your enemy now, Saul. And the Lord hath done unto him as he spake by me, for the Lord rent the kingdom out of thy hand, and it is given to thy neighbor David. Do you notice how demons, devils, evil spirits, they just know everything because they're just right there. Time doesn't mean anything to demons, devils, evil spirits, powers, principalities of Satan. Everything that is corrupt to the Lord Jesus Christ and his kingdom. It's just tripping around here on planet Earth right now, just watching us. And he spake by me. Okay, he's going to give your kingdom to David. Because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor executed his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. That's a big deal. They watched him. They watched him not go do what he was supposed to do. And they're just sitting there, okay, this is how it's going down. Okay. A Christian never seeks someone from the dead for instruction. That's an abomination. Father allowed this evil spirit. And evil spirits instigating Saul versus David. Verse 18, Because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor executed his fierce wrath upon Amalek, therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. That was Saul's big mistake. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. That's a big message for Saul there. He went and got some advice from the devil, and the devil doesn't really care. The devil's just messing with them. Then Saul fell straightway all along on the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel. And there was no strength in him. He had eaten no bread all day, nor all night. He had no physical strength. He had no spiritual strength. Saul was a done deal. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw that he was troubled, and said unto him, I almost skipped a page. Behold, thy handmaid hath obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto the words which thou spakest unto me, Saul. Now therefore I pray thee, Saul, you King Saul, hearken thou also unto the voice of thy handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, that thou mayest have strength when thou goest thy way. You got to eat something, man, okay? All right, you got a bad message from Saul. Let's just go see what happens. But anyways, he refused. Saul refused. I will not eat. But his servants together with the woman compelled him, and they hearkened unto their voice. So he arose from the earth and sat upon his bed. Isn't that just the greatest thing? Saul sits up. And the woman, okay, he refused bread. He refused water. He refused the basic necessities of life. And he's just laying there now. He's up on the bed. He's going to eat something. And the woman had a fat calf in the house. And she hasted and killed it. And took flour and kneaded it. And did bake unleavened bread thereof. And she brought it before Saul and before his servants. And they did eat. And they rose up and went on their way that night. Do you see what's going on here? Saul just got that horrible message from this guy that's claiming to be Samuel, but it's not. Just so you know, that's not possible. But believe me, they know everything. They know absolutely everything because they're just dancing around, waiting to play a snare drum on your head as soon as you have a moment with no faith in God. They will be there. So just be very careful. Let's go to chapter 29 of 1 Samuel. Now the Philistines gathered together all their armies to Aphek, and the Israelites pitched by the fountain which is in Jezreel. And the Lord of the Philistines passed on by hundreds and by thousands. That's their armies, 5 kings in their armies, but David and his men, on the reward with Achash. Okay, so they were behind Achash. Then said the princes of the Philistines, who or what are these Hebrews? What are these Hebrews doing here? And Achash said unto the princes of the Philistines, is not this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Israel, which hath been with me days, or these years? I found no fault in him, since he fell unto me unto this day. This guy's all right. He's our new champion. Watch this guy rock. Well, we'll see what happens. And the princes of the Philistines were wroth with him. And the princes of the Philistines said unto him, make this fellow return, that he may go again to his place, which thou hast appointed him. Let him go down. He's not coming in with us unto the battle. Let in the battle he should be an adversary to us. For wherewith should he reconcile himself unto his master, King Saul? Should it not be with the heads of these men? Is this not David, of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying, Saul slew his thousands, and David slew his 10,000s? Isn't this just this guy, David? And Achash called David and said unto him, surely, as the Lord liveth, Achash dropping God's name, the Philistine, acknowledging God, surely as the Lord liveth, thou hast been upright. And thy goings out and thy coming in with me has been good. And the host is good in my sight. And I have not found evil in thee since the day of the coming unto me, unto this day. Nevertheless, the Lord's favor you not. That's the princes of the Philistines, the kings, the 5 kings. Wherefore now return and go in peace, that thou displease not the lords of the Philistines. And David said unto Achash, but what have I done? And what hast thou found in thy servants so long as I have been with thee unto this day, that I might not go fight against the enemies of my lord the king? My lord the king, talking about Saul. King Saul. And Achash answered and said unto David, I know, David, I know that thou art good in my sight, as an angel of God. David, you are like an angel of God. Notwithstanding, the princes of the Philistines have said, he's not coming with us to battle. We don't need this, guys. Watch this. Now, wherefore now rise up early in the morning with thy master's servants that are come with thee, and as soon as ye be up early in the morning and have light, depart. And David and his men rose up early to depart in the morning, to return to the land of the Philistines. And the Philistines went up to Jezreel. Okay, so now you have Israel against Jezreel, and David's not seeking God's advice, or is he? He's in a jam here. I shouldn't have said that. He probably is. We don't know. But anyway, he got out of that jam. He doesn't have to go up and fight King Saul. Okay, so just remember that. David got out of this jam. And it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the 3rd day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south, and Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag, and burned it with fire. David's city got demoed. Okay, so this is what happened when he was out with the Philistines here. So that's how far he took it. He wasn't just lounging around, man, having a rum and coke. Just, what's going on? How's it going? He was out there ready to rock. He left his city. And they had taken the women captives. Now, don't forget, Amalek was son of Esau, Genesis chapter 36, perpetual enemies of Israel. Okay, they came in and they took all his stuff. And they had taken the women captives therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were captive. And David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. And David's 2 wives were taken captives, Ahinoam the Jezreelite and Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. Always remember 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Okay, all these things were for examples for us in these end times. You can't just leave your place empty. Okay, this is never leave father out of your life. And that's what happened. That's why I said David's not seeking God's advice. Then his place got raided. His wives are gone. Okay, let's just see what happens here. And David's 2 wives were taken captive. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. Like, David waits. He just waits until he hits rock bottom here. And David failed to leave an army to protect his city. Are you kidding me? He should have just left 100 guys or 200 guys. He didn't. He took all 600. And David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. Now he's going to go say a prayer. And David said to Abiathar, the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought hither the ephod to David. And David inquired at the Lord, saying, Shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered them, Pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, without fail, and you're going to recover everything. So David went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook of Bezor, where those that were left behind stayed. Like, this is almost 600 or 700, 800-mile journey. It was crazy. It was crazy. And it wasn't on paved roads. Everything wasn't just peachy. This was trekking through the wilderness, and there was roads, obviously, but just nothing was really nice. And David pursued, and 400 men and 200 abode behind, which were faint, so they could not go over the brook of Bezor. So there's your lesson. You should have left those 200 back with their family in the place. But anyways, that's the lesson God's giving us. And they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David, and gave him bread, and he did eat, and they made him drink water. And they gave him a piece of cake of figs, 2 clusters of raisin. And when his spirit came unto him, for he had eaten no bread nor drunk any water, 3 days and 3 nights, here's this Egyptian. They found him, just laying there, and they brought him back to life. And David said unto him, To whom belongest thou, and whence art thou? And the Egyptian said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to Amalekite, and my master left me because 3 days ago I fell sick. And he made an invasion upon the south of the Cherethites, and upon the coast which is belonging to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire. And David said to him, Canst thou bring me down to this company? And the Egyptian said back, Swear unto me by God that thou wilt neither kill me, nor deliver me into the hands of my master, because I will bring thee down to this company. I'll bring you down. And when he had come down, behold, there was spread abroad among the earth eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines, and out of all the land of Judah. All David's stuff and the Philistines' stuff, they just raided the whole place. Now, this is just in the Israel area today, going down to Egypt, up to Lebanon, Syria, over across the river, the Jordan River, over across, and into this area here. Let's see if I can get this right today. Here's the Mappy Poo, and there's the Mediterranean Sea, and here's the Jordan River, which goes between those 2 bodies of water. There's the Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea. And this is Jordan now, but it don't matter, because back then, this was all part of the new Israel that God was, making out. So they could be fighting here, up here, the 800 miles over to the... Anyways, that's the way she goes. So where are we here? And David and the people lifted it up. Okay, probably. David pursued. Okay, here we go. Made an invasion, and David said, Can thou bring this me down? Okay, they're all down there, and they're eating and drinking everything. That's David's stuff, and his Philistine stuff. And David smote them from twilight, even until the evening of the next day. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 men, which rode upon camels, and fled. And David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away. And David rescued his 2 wives, and there was nothing lacking in them, nothing at all. They weren't touched. Neither great nor small, neither sons or daughters, neither spoil, nor anything that they had taken. David recovered everything. And David took all the flocks of their herds that they drove before those and other. David had found everything. Cattle, everything. This is David's spoil. God's blessings, David's spoil. And David came to the 200 men, which were so faint they could not follow. And they made also to abide at the brook of Bezor. Okay, there's 200 left behind, and David left them there. Okay, so now he's back. He's got all this stuff. And they went forth to meet David and to meet the people that were with them. And David came near unto the people. He saluted them. Then answered all the wicked men and men of Belial. The wicked men and men of Belial. Can you dig it? There's always something going on underneath people's hearts or in people's hearts. You don't know who they really are. And they have men of Belial, that is evil spirits, people with evil spirits, men of Belial. And they said, because thou did not come with us, we will not give them aught of the spoil we have recovered, save to every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. You guys just take your wife and kids and get out of here. Then said David, you shall not do so, my brethren, which the Lord hath given us, who hath preserved us and delivered the company that came up against us, against our hand. The Lord hath given us. God gave it to us, these 400 men. So, okay, so it's not like, we just got to think about that. God gave all these people to us. For who will hearken unto you this matter? But as for the part that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be tarrieth by the stuff. They shall, you're all going to get something, okay? And it shall be from that day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day. We're giving something to everybody. When David came to Ziklag, he sent the spoil of the elders of Judah, even his friends. Behold, a present for you of the spoils of the enemies of the Lord. Amalekites raided Judah. Okay, so you just have to remember that. The spoil originally, okay, therefore some of the spoil, it was originally from Judah, and this is a character of a great leader with God's blessings. That's what we're being shown here. To them that were in Bethel, to them that were in the south of Ramoth, to them that were in Jethor, to them that were in Arior, to them that were in Shipmoth, and to them that were in Eshtomiah, and to them that were in Rachel. Here's a big one here. And to them that were in the cities of Jerahmeelites, and to them that were in the cities of the Kenites. Do you remember the Jerahmeelites and the Kenites? Remember the Kenites? Oh, peaceful and prosperous people. Received some of the spoils of David's war victory. Remember the Kenites. That's where David said he went. He didn't go there. He didn't go to the Jerahmeelites. He just said that. He went to kill the people that were of the that were of the Palestinian people, of the he went and killed the other people that were of the anointed ones. That's to say the Rephaim and Nephilim. This just means the anointed ones. The giants, the posterity of the giants. That's where he went. And then he told his boss, we went to the Jerahmeelites and the Kenites. Okay, the Kenites were going to be here to the end, as it's written in Genesis or in Matthew chapter 13. All these people are going to be here to the end. And to them which were in Hormah, and to them which were in Koreshan, and to them which were in Atash, and to them which were in Hebron, and to all the places where David himself and his men were wont to haunt. And that's what he did. He just gave stuff to everybody. Isn't he just the greatest guy? Chapter 31 of the great book of 1Samuel. Now, the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain in Mount Gibeah. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Anibalbad and Melchishua, sons. Anibalbad is called Ishua in chapter 14. Anyways, they're all gone now, and the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore, wounded of the archers. Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, draw thy sword, and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. This is insult me. They're going to make fun of me. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Then Saul took a sword and fell upon it. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him. You know who was supposed to be the armor bearer? Armor bearer for Saul? That was David's job. What is this guy doing here? Anyways, that's the way it worked out, and we're just going to carry on here. His armor bearer saw that Saul was dead. He fell on his sword also. So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and his armor bearer, and all his men the same day together. This is like 1 Chronicles chapter 10, a more complete report. We're just going to keep that there, and that's the end of King Saul. So Saul died. Now, here's the history from a human standpoint. In Chronicles, it's God's standpoint and reasons of the history. That's why we have Chronicles and Samuel 1, 2, and Kings 1, 2. And then we go through Chronicles, which we'll be doing right away. Just hold on to your shirt. And when the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley, that they were on the other side of the Jordan, saw the men of Israel fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled. And the Philistines came and dwelt in them. There you have it. You can have these cities, boys. And it came to pass on the morrow, the next day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gibeah, Gilboa. And they cut off his head, and stripped off his armor, and sent into the land of the Philistines round about, to publish in the house of their idols, and among the people. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body, his head, to the wall of Beshem, house of rest. And all the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead. Now listen, man, it sounds like, his body, maybe they took his body to, I think they might have. So they took his body to, and the mount of, and when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines have done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Beth-shan and came to Jabesh and burnt them there. And they took their bones and buried them under a tree at Jabesh and fasted there for 7 days. These are the Israelites went and got Saul's bones and body, and they cremated and buried them there. And that's also in 2 Samuel chapter 2, verse 5. So that's the end of Samuel chapter 1. Or the end of the book of 1 Samuel. Let's go into 2 Samuel. Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, King Saul's gone now, when David returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode in 2 days in Ziklag. And it came to pass on the 3rd day, that behold, a man came out of the camp from Saul, with his clothes rent and earth on his head. This is Amalekite in mourning. And earth on his head, and it was so. So when he came to David, that he fell to the earth and did obeisance. So he went down to the ground, and he's doing obeisance. And David said unto him, From whence comest thou? And he said unto him, Out of the camp of Israel I am escaped. And David said unto him, This guy just comes, he just shows up, right? Saul was fighting the Philistines' army, and this army's over. So this Amalekite comes up. And he's, what's going on? What is going on here? Is what David's saying. So you get some news here from this Amalekite for David, out of control. Compare the story of Saul's death. It's out of control, indicating this Amalekite is lying, inserting himself into the story. This is the type of person that hangs around after the battle. He's called a grave robber. Saul was ordered to destroy the Amalekites, therefore he would not be in Saul's inner circle. Even though Saul failed this order, he still wouldn't be in Saul's inner circle. Anyways, let's just see what this guy has to say. And David said unto him, How went the matter? I pray thee tell me. And he answered, That the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people are fallen dead, and Saul and Jonathan his son are dead also. Ooh, that's a big 1-2 front kick to David. And David said unto the young man that told him, How knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead? Jonathan was a good guy to David, really good guy. Saul wasn't. But anyways, let's just carry on here. And the young man that told him said, As I happened by chance upon Mount Gibeah, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him. And when he looked behind him, he saw me, and he called unto me, and I answered, I said, Here I am, Saul. I'm over here. And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am the Amalekite. Okay, his story's starting to fall apart here. And he said unto me again, Saul did, Stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him, and slew him. BS. Absolute BS. I slew him, he says. Anyways, here we go. Hope I can find my spot, because I just looked away. And I slew him. For I stand upon me. Okay, and I took upon him after I fallen, and I took the crown upon his head, and the bracelet was on his arm, and I brought them hither unto my Lord. He got caught red-handed here. He's got Saul's personal stuff. He doesn't even know where he's going. That's the ideology behind a thief. I'm going to steal it. I'm going to see what I can get for it. And you can't get nothing for it. Really, a thief really gets nothing. There's a few that get something, then they lose everything anyway. Like, how do you sleep at night knowing that you're a robber? Then David took all of his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him, because they knew this guy was BSing. And they mourned and wept and fasted until evening for Saul and for Jonathan his son, and the people of Israel of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. He just, okay, it's over. I don't have to fight Saul anymore, but I didn't want to fight Saul anyway, because I didn't even know what I did wrong, David said. That's what he's saying. Okay? And David said unto the young man that told him, Okay, where art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And David said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thy hand to destroy the Lord's anointed, King Saul? And David called one of the young men and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him, that he died. David drops the gavel. There's no doubt about it. Amalekite wishes that he was anywhere else, but the Amalekite would be treated as a hero. But he didn't know David's emotions. Listen, man, this is how this went down, okay? This is how this happened. Anyways, he's gone now. And David said unto him, That blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth has testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed. That's what you did, Amalekite, and now you're dead, see? But you're going somewhere when you die, so you can just take that thing you took off Saul, and yeah, we're just going to melt it down and make something out of it. And David lamented with his lamentation, his song over Saul and over Jonathan his son. And he bade them teach the children of Judah. The use of the bow is the title of the song. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher. Jasher means the upright one. The beauty of Israel is slain upon the high places, he sings. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not into Gath. Publish not in the streets of Ashkelon, lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. You mountains of Gibeah, let there be no dew. Neither let it be a rain upon you, nor the fields of offering. For there was a shield of the mighty in the valley, cast away. Mighty is Vili. Wait, there's a shield of the mighty. Is Vili cast away the shield of Saul as though he had not been anointed with oil? David acknowledging Saul was anointed. Okay, that's all there is to it. He could have died with dignity. He didn't. All right, that's all that's been said here. From the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty, the bow of Jonathan turned not back. The sword of Jonathan returned not empty. Remember, the Benjamites were known for their ability to shoot the bow and arrow. And Saul was a Benjamite. Anyways, it's over for Saul and it's over for Jonathan. Their death, they will not divide it. They were swifter than eagles. They were stronger than lions. You daughters of Israel, weep over Saul. You who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who put on ornaments of gold upon your apparel. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle? O Jonathan was slain in the high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan, Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of a woman. How art the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war perished. This is the bond between two warriors, David and Jonathan. They killed so many people together. David's really sorry about Saul, and there's no doubt about it. He doesn't even know what he did. And then Jonathan, he just loved this guy in the face of death. Hard to compare the love and respect that they would have had for each other in the face of death. Isn't that the greatest thing? Well, I hope you're enjoying these podcasts. As much as I'm enjoying bringing them to you, please like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, whatever you can do to engage the algorithms to glorify, magnify, and broadcast the message of Christ's love out to a hurting world. I want to thank you very much for watching. Have yourself the greatest day, and bye for now.